This is the #1 mistake that people trying to get into the Airbnb business are making. I'm gonna tell you a quick story about what I did and how this has caused me an issue in my life in the beginning of starting my Airbnb journey, and how I can save you that time, energy, and money by giving you the information up front. So I wanna share with you the differences of getting into Airbnb, and these are my drawings, okay? This is an apartment, right? Multiple units, and this is a home. Which one do we want to get into first, and why? If you're looking to get into the Airbnb, first of all, there's no better channel than you're on right now. So whether you're getting to Airbnb or whether you're getting into Airbnb, give me a thumbs up. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, guys. It means the world to me, so I can continue to do videos and bring on great people, great leaders, great guests with testimonials, and give you all the knowledge you need and pull back the curtains to give you the best education you could ever want on how to start your very first Airbnb. So let's talk about, should we start with an apartment or should we start with a single family house? 7 years ago when I got into the business, I actually started with an apartment complex. Okay, I had no idea what anything when it comes to the HOA. I had no idea what zoning. I'm like, let's just get an apartment, throw some people on it, put it on Airbnb, and if I'm renting the thing for $1,500, I know I can make more than that. Here's the problem. 4 months later, I got a knock on the door by the HOA, the association of the apartment complex, and basically she was like, listen, you can't be doing short term. We don't have subletting allowed in our apartment complex. I said, well, I tried to play it off. Like, I was like, well, look, you know what I mean? I got some family members in. There's no, like, and she's like, look, Mike, show me a screenshot. Sent it on Airbnb, have my listing right there. I was dead in the water. So I said, look, what do I need to do? I need to figure this game out. Fast forward to today, I'm the #1 Airbnb educator in the United States. Okay, I get people results, and more importantly, I get people results fast. This was 7 years ago when I had no clue what I was doing, and still today, I have students talking to me, people that are not in my program, asking me questions like, should I start with an apartment complex or should I start with a home? Here's the reason why I believed that I could start with an apartment complex, because I was like, it's easy, right? It's not easier. Here's the difference. With an apartment complex, when you are pitching an apartment complex, you are pitching a business, right? Now let me explain pitching. If you go to an apartment complex or a home, you have to get their permission to put it on Airbnb. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't know that back in 2016 when I got in the game. So I just basically put it on Airbnb. And a lot of people did that. And it lasted about 3 to 4 months. And then you're gonna have Karen knocking on your door, or the association, or neighbors knocking on the door saying, boom, your business is gone. So we wanna do it the legal way. And that means that we get the permission from the homeowner or the apartment. But why do we not wanna start with an apartment? The reason is because you're pitching a business. And when you pitch a business, you're going up to a business and saying, hey, look, I wanna take your property and I wanna use it for short-term rentals. The problem is there's multiple layers there, which is also known as a corporate lease, that you have to go through to get an approval here versus here. Let me tell you the other reason. With an apartment complex, you're gonna need to have an 80 Paydex score. If you guys don't know what Paydex score means, that means you're Dun and Brad on your business. Dun and Bradstreet, the benchmark that I would like to see you at, and what apartments are gonna say is you gotta be at an 80 or higher. So Paydex goes from 0 to 100, and you wanna be at an 80. You're not gonna get approved for an apartment complex with no business credit. The reason is it's a corporate lease. So you're not doing it through your personal social security number. You may be asked to put your social in there, but they're gonna be running your business. And if you have an 80 Paydex score, you're likely to get approved, and then you gotta show financials. So that's much harder than what I'm about to show you. The reason I teach now for people to start in single family houses, one person, because now when we pitch, we're just pitching Steve, we're just pitching Rebecca, we're pitching a homeowner. Are we more likely to get approved with someone who's one person or someone who has to go through 30 steps, make sure your Paydex score, your business credit score is good, make sure your financials are good, and go through a process that is a little bit more daunting than just going to James and saying, hey, look, this is what we want to do with your property. So over here, let me tell you what you don't need. No credit, no experience in Airbnb or real estate. How about this one? No financials. I don't care if your credit score is a 350 or an 850. I don't care if you have any experience in real estate. I don't care if you have any financials. I don't care if you're working a 9 to 7 every day as an employee. You start with a single family house, get your feet wet, understand the business, and then after you get 1 or 2 deals, if you want to learn how to do apartments, I will show you, because that is what I do for me and my family. I do corporate leasing now. So what I do is see these 5 units? We just picked up in our latest acquisition, we picked up 5 units in a luxury apartment complex as a corporate lease. The game changes when you go from 1 unit to 5 at a time. That's why I became #1 Airbnb educator, because not only am I building my portfolio, but I'm teaching people the method. Start here. And then if you want to really scale, this is it. Now, you can do single family, single family, single family, single family, and then you can go here. Or you can always start with single family. You can continue to go over here and never go to apartments. The big difference is this. What I'm able to do over here to help you is no credit score, very little money. You're talking about no experience in Airbnb, no experience in real estate. I don't care your financials, because I'm going to get the landlord to approve it based on one thing, and that is credibility. So you're probably wondering what that means. Let me explain what credibility means. Credibility means if you try to pitch a landlord with no financials, no credit score, a brand new business, what do you think they're gonna say? They're gonna say, Mike, listen, when you get your together, let me know. Because you're gonna call up a landlord and say, hey, I wanna take your property and I wanna put it on Airbnb. First of all, never pitch it as an Airbnb. You get on the phone and pitch an Airbnb opportunity to a landlord, they're gonna hang up on your face, okay? So don't say, Mr. Landlord, I love your property, I wanna put it on Airbnb, I'll take the asking price that you're looking for. Listen, we smoke, we've got pets, and we're looking to run a business out of it, make money every month. Would you accept me? That's not how you pitch it. Either way, this might be slightly different than this one, but the premise is the same. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna pitch it as a corporate leasing company. We are a corporate leasing company. We have short-term guests and mid-term guests. We have travel nurses, doctors, chiropractors, business professionals, relocators, people that have house fires. Sometimes they have people that have natural disaster and floods and need somewhere to stay. And sometimes our guests will stay for 2 to 3 days, and sometimes we have guests that stay for 2 to 3 months. But Mr. Landlord, here's the thing. Your property is going to stay in for sale condition the entire time. And the reason is we have a professional maintenance crew that comes in. If anything goes wrong in the property, under $500, we're going to handle it ourselves. And we have a professional cleaning company that comes in once or twice a week to deep clean the property. Now, I know with a traditional tenant, because I've owned a lot of properties, the turnover is crazy. You've got to paint the walls, fix the holes, do the carpet, you got to redo everything. With us, the property stays immaculate the entire lease. In fact, it'll be in better condition when we leave than it is right now. And to show you that I'm serious, I would like to put a 2-year lease instead of a 1-year lease like a traditional tenant. Can we put together a deal? That is how you pitch this. Now, why is this important? No credit, because we're going to use our EIN. That is a number that is attached to your LLC. If you don't have an LLC, my students get that for free, okay? So just let me know. I'll tell you guys to reach out to me in comments here in a minute if you want help. Just put the word Airbnb. If you're truly serious about getting the game, just put the word Airbnb in comments for me, and I'll reach out to you directly, okay? But you want your EIN, guys. You're not gonna use your SSN. We're not personal guarantoring any of this. We're gonna use our EIN. Why does this matter? I'm gonna teach you. You guys are part, that's why I said make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it already, because I'm gonna give you all the experience you need. I'm gonna show you how to run a hospitality business. If you're in the real estate business and you're like, look, I've had rentals before, that's not the same as hospitality, guys. We have guests that come in and out a couple times a week. This is not like buying a rental and putting a tenant in there and not seeing hear from them for a year. Here we have guests. This is like a hotel. So why does this not matter? Here's why. Because what I'm going to do for you is, instead of you getting on the phone with a landlord, how would you like to know what I'm going to do is a 3-way call. This is what made me number one. Three-way call. A three-way call basically means this. I'm going to help you find the right property in the right market, in the right city, in the right zip code. And I'm going to make sure that the property itself is profitable. Let me give you an example. If the property rents for $2,000 a month, then guess what? I'm looking for a property that has a double, meaning if it rents for $2K, I would like to see $4,000 a month on average in guest revenue. That's how I know I have a good property for Airbnb. Let me say that again. Let's say the property is $1,500 a month. That's what the rent the landlord is asking for. Well, then I want $3,000 a month in potential guest revenue per month. If it's renting for $4,000, I want $8,000 a month. I want double the rent payment in guest revenue. That's how we know we have a good property to move forward with. Once I help you find the right property in the right market that's profitable, here's what we're gonna do. I am going to have you contact the landlord. And you're gonna say, Mr. Landlord, you can do this via text or email. Mr. Landlord, love your property. I would like to get an investor. I'm working with Investor Mike and I would like to get him on a three-way call so we can listen in as well. But here's what the difference is. Instead of you using your background, your no Airbnbs, your no references, your no credibility, I will do that for you. I will help you get in based on my negotiation skills and my background and my Airbnbs. And I will help you get in the game, which is how I make a guarantee that nobody else on planet Earth can make. And that is that you'll get your first Airbnb in 30 days or less. No questions asked. Start with a single family house. Get in the game. Stop sitting on the sidelines. This is a booming industry in 163 countries, guys. Airbnb is not going anywhere, okay? I hope that the statistics are right, that by 2027, that Airbnb income will surpass hotels. That's what I'm hearing. Can you imagine that? Guys, you want to be an Airbnb host. You want to be on this side. It's nice to stay in as well. And then one thing you can do, which we do, is you can block off your own calendar. If you're in an area that you love to vacation, block off your own calendar and you can have a place to stay whenever you go somewhere. That's the cool thing about it. The best part about it is you're not buying, you're not buying. I'm gonna help you find a rental on Zillow. I'm gonna also help you find a furnished property. And while we're on the phone, not only am I gonna help you find a furnished property, but I'm gonna help you negotiate 4 to 10 weeks of free rent for you on the front end based on my credibility. Now you can get into the business with very little money, no credit, no experience, no financials, and you walk into your very first Airbnb in 30 days or less. That's my guarantee to you. So that's the difference, guys. You can certainly start here, but just make sure you have an 80 paydex score or higher. Make sure you have your financials right. Understand it's a corporate lease. It's a different pitch. And you can get in here, right? This is how you scale much faster. When you see people that have 30, 40, 50, 100 units, they are doing this method over here with apartments, more than likely. But this is where I want you to start. Just follow the blueprint that I teach and you'll be successful. Just follow the blueprint. My students are in the 10% winners category, and I will give you the statistics just so you know. Most people fail in their very first year. They pick the wrong property, the wrong market, and can't get a damn landlord to say yes if they got paid. I will help you with all of that so we can take the guesswork out of it. Right market, right zip code, so we know the property is profitable based on software, not hopes and praise. My job is to mitigate the risk of you failing and help you be successful. That's what I do. You'll have access to me 24/7. Put the word Airbnb in comments if you would like help to get your very first property in 30 days or less. That's my guarantee to you. I'll see you guys on the inside. This is the way you want to go. Go here, not here to start, and watch what happens. Let's roll.